So the Orbea Rallon, or if you're on the other side of the world, Rayon, or something like that. But it's Rallon here, so. I got this for a few days. Did a ride on it, basically as it came to me. I did an air can service before I rode it, but otherwise pretty much as it came. The standard pedals that it came with, which not the standard pedals that Orbea send, obviously you don't get pedals with bikes this expensive. They came with these pedals. Not even sure the brand, to be honest. They got no brand name on them, but not great, not a lot of grip, and a heap of float in the center there. So they've come off. I've put my nuke proofs on. I've still got the pedaling innovations on my bike on the Patrol. Now, Eagle GX at the back, it's crisp, it's not too bad. Float DPX2 felt a little bit, not that great. So it comes standard with a 0.6 spacer. I rode that. The way it was given to me, it was actually with a 0.8 spacer, and he was saying that it still bottoms out a little bit, goes through the end of its travel a little bit. So I put the stock 0.6 spacer in to ride it the other day, set it up at 30% sag, which is, I believe it was 18 millimeters on this, so it's a 60mm stroke. 230 by 60, so a nice long air can in comparison to my Patrol, which is a 205 by 65, so a short air can relative to how much stroke the shock has, how much travel that shaft goes through. Definitely had an issue with the, I didn't bottom it out as such, but you can definitely feel towards the end of it. So the mid-stroke's wicked, the mid-stroke support's great, but the end stroke falls away, which is a good way of designing a suspension platform, I think, but it just needs a bigger spacer. So I've skipped the 0.8 and I've gone straight to the 1.02, I think it is, or 1.03 spacer. So the biggest spacer Fox do. It's a little bit of a mission to get it in the right spot up in there, but if you're going to put a spacer like that in this shot, make sure you be careful of how it goes in and make sure it's clicked in properly, and when you screw the shaft, the can on, it's going to be a little stiff at the end to screw back on. But anyway, we've got the 0.02 in there now, it feels good. I've set up at 30, just over 30%, so Orbea say 27 to 33%. At 30% it felt almost a little bit tall in the back, and definitely had the old butt scrub on anything steep with the 29er back wheel. So I'm going to demo it today in this configuration. I've just dropped the lowers on the forks, taken the air spring out, given it a service. If you follow me on Instagram, MTB Telly, you'll see all of the excessive grease in that negative side of the air chamber. So I've cleaned all that out, given the lowers a service. They feel absolutely 600% better. So we'll see how they feel like on the trail. Initially on my first ride I did 6 laps at Brownies, a couple of different trails, and they felt quite, they felt okay, but if it wasn't hero dirt, there wouldn't have been very much grip on the front at all. There wasn't a lot of compliance at the front for the amount of support that I needed. Now I've gone a little bit less pressure, and it feels like I've got the same, if not more, support bouncing around. It feels great. Front end's a little bit lower than what I would usually run, so my setup on the Patrol is from top of the bar to the ground is 1070 to 1075, maybe even 1080. I think it's about 1080. This is at 1050, so it's about 30mm lower than what I would set up, but I'm going to leave it like that. I've got the 40mm stem on, so it had a 30, it's either 32mm, it's a Renthal stem. It had a 32 or a 35mm stem on it, with a little bit higher rise bars as well, but that shorter stem made it feel like, it felt good and it felt really nippy and easy to maneuver, but it felt real easy to tuck the front as well. It felt like it was really easy to oversteer the front and just tuck it in. So going the little bit longer stem has made it feel better. So that 40mm stem doesn't tuck at all, and the cornering on that first ride, it felt excellent. It turns into a corner, and I've always said the 29er front wheel is absolutely unreal for cornering and for just gripping your line and absolutely ripping. It's just a grip and rip setup, but I'm not a big fan of the 29er in the back. So happy with the stem setup, the bar roll. Had to fidget a little bit to get that bar roll right. I don't like these grips, these ergon grips. I'm not a big fan of them. They're kind of a little bit abrupt on your hands. I don't know, I'll give them a bit more time. I might leave them on today, see if I get used to them. I played a little bit with the roll of them, but not a lot. Fits a full-size drink bottle, which is killer. Happy with that. It's 170 cranks out of the box, which are bearable. Shimano XT4 pots, which are killer. So 200 at the front, 180 at the back. I've got my wheel over there, so I'm going to go to the mullet probably tomorrow, maybe not today. So give it a full slap as a 29er first, and then we'll see what the mullet does to it. Yeah, overall, so far so good. It's not really inspiring me with heaps of confidence as it is now, but I think with these forks serviced, with more grip at the front, it's definitely going to give me more confidence. With that shock, with the bigger spacer, run it a little bit deeper in its sag is going to give me a little bit more confidence as well. I'm not standing so tall at the back and kind of, you know, trying not to go over the front, I guess, is a good way to describe it. Or just damage control. It feels like a bit of damage control. But anyway, something to get used to. I'm used to a 25er, so we'll see. Drop post, the Fox transfer is killer. Real light action going up and down, but the lever itself's not very good. I don't like that lever. It's quite takes quite a bit of effort to push it forward and back. And the way these brakes interface, so Shimano brakes interfacing with SRAM gear changer specifically, I can't get this close enough. If I throw this clamp on this side and move the finer position here, switch that over to get it back that way a little bit, it's still not quite far enough away. It's too close to me, so not a big fan of the way those two interface, but no big deal. The brakes are killer. Yeah, carbon, full carbon. This is three carbon bikes in a row that I've ridden now, that when you get them really singing, if you get like a real hard hit, or a hit where you're on an odd direction, where you're changing direction and get a slap like mid-corner, you get a hard crunching hit, it makes a little bit of a crunching noise. So the Pivot did it, the Trek did it, this has done it. Not sure if it's just a carbon friction thing of greased pivots and whatever. I haven't gone too deep into the back end, those pivots yet, but headset's been out, greased, made the bike silent outside of that cracking really deep in the, well, not so much deep in the travel, but a really fast hit. So not 100% sure about that, but we'll progress on and see if I can put a finger on it. Yeah, outside of that, it's good. The wheels are good. Tubeless, I'd changed the front tyre from a E13 TRS tyre, which is this sucker over here. It was okay in the Hero Dirt, but I think these big fat side knobs here, not really great on hard pack. So grippy, it was definitely a grippy tyre, but we're going the Minion Max Terra 2.5. See how that goes. So I just pumped it up with a track pump. It was killer. The DT Swiss 1900 splines, yeah. So let's get out there and give it another slap.